Hello. 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 Come up from deep within the depths of your being.
Okay.
Can you do that? That's right. Welcome to A Course in Miracles. I'm Earl Purdy, and the purpose of the Course in Miracles is to give you perceptions of things that will keep you peaceful. Do you want to keep your peace no matter what's going on?
Yes.
Would that be a worthwhile goal?
Yes.
Yeah. Just remember one thing. Divide it into 5 or 6 things. You need not believe the ideas you hear today. You need not accept the ideas you hear today. You need not even welcome the ideas that you hear today. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. I'll say that one more time. Some of these ideas you may actively resist, and some of the ideas may seem to be quite startling. You are not asked to judge the ideas at all. Their use will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. I say the use of the ideas will give them meaning to you and show you that the ideas are true. The thought that we want to take into the meditation right now is this. This day I choose to spend in perfect peace. This day I choose to spend in perfect peace. This day I choose to spend in perfect peace. This day I choose to spend in perfect peace. This day I choose to spend in perfect peace. This day I choose to spend in perfect peace. This day I choose to spend in perfect peace. This day I choose to spend in perfect peace. It doesn't seem to me that I can choose to have but peace today. I know it does not seem to you that you can choose to have only peace today. Ooh, you may be feeling like hell. You may not be feeling real good. You might want to kill a few people. Things might be up for you right now. No matter what's happening, remember that this day you choose to spend in perfect peace. Say what? This day I choose to spend in perfect peace. Yeah, this day I choose to spend in perfect peace. Say what? This day I choose to spend in perfect peace. Oh, this day I choose to spend in. Now take a breath. And yet my God assures me. I say my Creator assures me that I am like the Creator, which is love. Your Creator assures you that you are like love. Love assures you that you are like love. Your Creator assures you that you are like love. That's what you are. Remember that. Let me this day have faith in love, who says that I am the creation of love and you are the creation of love. That's what you are. That's what you are. That's what you are. And let the peace I choose be mine today. Let the peace you choose be yours today. Let the peace I choose be mine today. Let the peace I choose be mine today. Say what? Let the peace I choose be mine today. Let the peace I choose be mine today. Let the peace I choose be mine today. Woo. Today bear witness to the truth of what love says. Today bear witness to the truth of what love says. Today bear witness to the truth of what love says. Because when you get in touch with who you really are, that you are an infinite being, you will have no cares. No cares at all when you remember who you really are. You will have no cares at all when you get in touch with the power, with the spirit, with the love, with the consciousness, with the mind that you really are. You will have no cares, and you must remain forever in the peace of heaven, which is the peace of love, the contentment of love. May you remain forever in the contentment of love. May you remain forever in the contentment of love. May you remain forever in the contentment of love. May you remain forever in the contentment of love. In the name of love, in the name of God, in the name of truth, in the name of the universe, in the name of spirit, in the name of the truth, you give today to finding what love wills for you. We devote today in finding what love wills for us. We devote today into finding what love wills for us. Accepting it as ours and giving it to everyone else along with us. And so our Creator, would we pass this day with you. Love, our Creator, will pass this day with you. We as your creations, as your extensions, have not forgotten the love that created us, the power that created us, the source that created us, the power that created us. We have not forgotten the love and truth and power that has created us. You gave us, still in our mind. And this peace you have given us is still in our mind. It is there in this peace I choose to spend today. So for about 5 minutes, we're going to chant this. Those who feel like it, those who want to listen, please listen. This day I choose to spend in perfect peace. This day I choose to spend in perfect peace. This day I choose to spend in perfect peace. This day I choose to spend in perfect peace. This day I choose to spend in perfect peace. This day I choose to spend in perfect peace. This day I choose to spend in perfect peace. This day I choose to spend in perfect peace. This day I choose to spend in perfect peace. This day I choose to spend in perfect peace. Perfect peace. Perfect peace. Perfect peace. This day I choose to spend in perfect peace. This day I choose to spend in perfect peace. This day I choose to spend in perfect peace. This day I choose to spend in perfect. Now say to someone else. This day you choose to spend in perfect peace. This day you choose to spend in perfect peace. This day you choose to spend in perfect peace. This day you choose to spend in perfect peace. spend in perfect peace. This day we choose to spend in perfect peace. This day we choose to spend in perfect peace. This day we choose to spend in perfect peace. Woo! You can give it to us. That's a good thing. Yeah. This day, not tomorrow.
This day, this moment.
This moment. This one right here. This is the only one we got. This is it.
The Holy Spirit's here.
This is it. So there's only two things A Course in Miracles says that we experience is love or fear. That's it. And love goes by many different names. Joy, happiness, peace, abundance, partying like a big dog, having a good time. All love goes by all of that. And fear goes by jealousy, anger, hurt, depression, sickness. All those are forms of fear. And today we're going to start on a section that I'm going to admit is it will be a challenge, but that's why you're here. I think, right? Yeah, to go ahead and to be challenged, to expand your consciousness, to grow, to open up, to be more loving. It's called the SANE curriculum. So that in itself is going to pose a few problems for us. If it was the insane curriculum, we'd be like, but what is the SANE curriculum, number one, right? So the SANE curriculum. So I'm going to go through the paragraph and then I'm going to see if we can get the main point out of it, throw it over for questions or comments, and then we're going to go to the next one. So hold your questions until I open it up, if you don't mind, so we can satisfy the part of us that wants to hear the material, as well as satisfy the part of us that sometimes wants to get clarity on the material. So I want a good balance between us hearing what's being said and discussion. A lot of the questions that you have will be asked as we go along anyway. But one of the things that blows my mind about the Course in Miracles is that it's teaching us that there's no reason why we shouldn't be feeling completely fulfilled all the time. And the reason why we don't feel completely content all the time is because of what we're telling ourselves all the time. The voice in your mind that's talking to you all day is your advisor. And you have to go into agreement with that advisor before you experience what you're telling yourself. So if I tell myself I'm not enough, I have to go into agreement and say I'm not enough before I start getting witnesses from the world that would reflect back to me I'm not enough. So the person who tells me I'm not enough is a reflection of the idea I have in my mind of not being enough. And so they are showing up as a result of the conversation I'm having with myself all day, which makes me to love myself more or fear myself more. And the Course says that that's what the separation is. The separation is our not accepting the idea that we are as loved and loving and lovable and powerful as we are. We need to go into agreement with the part of us that believes that about us. We're the one that's holding things up. And not really holding things up, but it looks like it. Okay? So the first thing that it says is only love is strong. And the real love is strong because real love is undivided. It's whole. It's completely certain. There's no parts of it that has doubt or fear. And so the strong do not attack because somebody who's strong doesn't see any need to attack. So from A Course in Miracles perspective, love is strong because love doesn't attack. So do you love me if you are attacking me? No. You're not expressing love when you're attacking me. Some people attack people because they think they love them. I wouldn't be killing you right now, so I'm in love with you. I love you so much. That's why I'm taking you out. I would be happy not to have that kind of love. Anybody that's feeling that kind of love for me don't like me. That's what I want, you know. And also it says, because before the idea of attack can enter your mind, you must have perceived yourself as weak. Before you could even want to attack, you must have seen yourself as weak. I think that's interesting. So the next time you get ready to go off, the next time you get ready to express anger, tell yourself, remind yourself that what's really happening right now is I feel like I'm weak. And because I am feeling weak, I'm getting ready to start some trouble. So all the attack that we see in the world is not coming from people who feel strong. The attack is coming from people who feel weak. And even though we have the illusion that the better you are at attacking, the stronger you must be. And you are the strongest one if you can attack best. Love doesn't think that way. It tells us that love, on the other hand, lets you know that you must have perceived yourself as weak before you got it. I couldn't get jealous unless I already felt weakened, like I wasn't enough. That's why I'm feeling jealous. I must have perceived myself as weak before the idea of attack entered my mind. And then the course then says, because you attacked yourself. What do you mean, because I attacked myself? Let me go back. What? You mean I attacked myself soon as I saw myself as weak? Yes. Every time you see yourself as weak and not the powerful being that you truly are, the Course in Miracles says that's an attack upon yourself. So I attack myself by seeing myself as weakened, and because I believe that your attack on me was effective, I behold myself as weakened. It said, because you attack yourself, and then you believe the attack was effective, you behold yourself as weakened. What does that mean? Because I perceive myself as weak, and then believe that perceiving myself as weak was effective, I now see myself as weak. So if I continue to tell myself I'm weak, I'm not enough, I don't deserve to be happy, I don't deserve love, I don't deserve joy, there's something wrong with me, then the Course in Miracles just said, well, you're going to see it like there's something wrong with you. So that's not hardly a cheerful frame of reference for yourself. Okay. Then it goes on to say, no longer perceiving yourself and your brothers as equal. What does that mean? It means you are now seeing yourself as weaker than others, not as powerful as others, not as deserving as others. But the Course says, then, this is really important, I don't see you as my equal anymore. I see myself as less than you, and I perceive myself as weaker than you. So then he says, then a person who feels that way will attempt to equalize the situation that they've made. I see myself as weaker and I see you as stronger. I see myself as not so good. I see you as better than me. I need to equalize the situation. And so what I'm going to do is attack you, criticize you, judge you, see you as lacking, because I believe that attacking me and seeing myself as weakened and not enough has made me feel weaker. And so certainly if I do the same thing to you, then we're now equal again. So it's like we start out up here, I see myself as weaker, I bring you down. Then I talk about myself some more and weaken myself some more, then I try to bring you down more. Notice I'm not trying to move up to equalize the situation. I am trying to judge, criticize, and condemn you to make you equal to what I see myself as being. Whoa! That doesn't sound really loving.
No.
I'm going out on the limb here, but that doesn't sound like really loving. So let me say that again. If I'm strong, then I don't see any need to put myself down, nor attack myself, nor to attack you. And before I could even want to attack you in the first place, I must have seen myself as weak and something not cool about me. And because I'm seeing something not cool about me, I'm attacking myself, and I believe it was effective because I really don't feel that good about me, right? I see myself as weak, and I don't see myself as equal to you. So since I see myself as less than you, then I'm going to attempt to equalize the situation because I believe judgment and criticism worked on me, and it's going to work on you too, because I've got to equalize the situation. So if you're constantly being insecure or hanging out with people who are insecure, who really don't love themselves, they could unconsciously or consciously try to constantly bring themselves down and bring you down too. And that's why when they leave, you're ready to shoot yourself. You actually can feel drained. Yes. Because they did not come into the situation as a strong, undivided presence of love and peace. They came in as someone perceiving themselves as weak, yes, needing to equalize the situation in order to make themselves feel better. So one of the strangest things that start happening when you start to love yourself more is you're shocked at how many people in your life start to drop away and you didn't even do anything to tell them to go. There was just something about you becoming more powerful, more positive, more certain that actually made them want to get away from you because they saw an inequality there, right? So I need to be around someone who reflects more how I think and how I feel about myself. So, first paragraph. Any questions or comments about that? What we talked about so far? Yeah. Chris.
So, in this first paragraph, when it talks about trying to equalize yourself with someone else, I have noticed that sometimes like sometimes I try to for lack of a better word, I try to cling on to a person that I think is better than me, and I try to drain them to so I could get their essence and be as good as they are. And then I find
so like a date.
I find that at times addicting. So what does the Course say about when things are addicting?
Well, I don't want to go there. I want to focus in on what we're talking about in this paragraph. That's like going off on another thing. What is this? What is the point the Spirit is trying to make to us in this paragraph? Is what and I'm not trying to cut you off, but I just know with the Course it's so easy to go off from what's being said in front of the page, on the page that we're studying. Yeah.
So can we just sum it up as only the weak attack?
Yeah. You can sum it up as only the weak attack, and when someone sees themselves as weaker than you, and you see yourself as weaker than them, on an unconscious level, you're going to try to equalize the situation, and the way you equalize the situation is to do some form of attack on them, and some form of attack on yourself. That's why a lot of times you'll see people who don't have a lot of money always criticizing and judging those who appear like they do. Or the person who does have a relationship being criticized and judged by those who don't. What they're doing, they're trying to equalize the situation. Yes?
Doesn't it work the opposite way too?
Mm-hmm.
Or does it?
Which is? What's the opposite way?
Well, would be that if you see yourself as strong, then you want to equalize others with strong.
Yeah, if you see yourself, what happens, to add to what you're saying, is love is strong. So if you see yourself as strong, what you do is see everyone as also being strong too, whether they are using their power to make themselves feel weak, or whether they're using their power to become aware of how powerful and loving they are. One of the most interesting things to keep in mind is that the more you recognize that people are choosing to think the way that they think, and that they have options in how they want to think and how they can think, called the zillion different spiritual paths and self-improvement books and self-study books. Like anybody that wants to change, the universe has 10 tons of aids, of teachers, books, videos, everything else. So you would have to safely assume anybody that's pretty much miserable, that's reasonably intelligent and has access to any form of media or knowledge, and they're grown and they're still staying that way, it's because that's how they want to be. And so therefore you give them the right to be exactly the way they are without you joining in the suffering with them.
Yes.
And that's the error that people make. They act like people are the way they are and they have no choice about it. And the truth is that's not true. If you got access to the truth, everyone has access to the truth, because none of us are so special that God just made a voice just for us only. You know, I'm not that special, that I'm the only one that can get the support that I need. But the Course says many times, it's not going to happen at any more level than the sincerity that you have going after it. God's voice is no louder than your willingness to listen. So the truth is no louder. Like what this is saying is no louder to me than my willingness to hear it.
Right.
If I don't want to hear that, I'm going to try to equalize the situation if I feel less than somebody else. So therefore, I owe it to myself and everyone around me to do self-love so that I don't see myself as weak, so that I can be a supportive, conscious energy for everybody around me. Then if I choose not to do that and I suffer as a result, that very suffering is still a witness to my power, because I have a choice, and this is the way I've chosen to use my choice. So people who see you as strong don't join in the suffering with you, which for people who see themselves as weak can sometimes appear as if that person is uncaring or being detached or being cold. And you're not. You're just not buying into what they're believing about themselves. And what they're looking for is someone to join with them to equalize the situation. I'm miserable and now you are too. I feel bad, and now you join me in feeling bad. We're equalizing the situation. But if I maintain my strength and I maintain my joy, then what I'm doing is witnessing to that person that they have alternatives about the way they could be in that moment. How? How do I know that? Well, hey, you know me, and I'm sitting up here next to you, and right now I'm choosing for peace. You could too. It's just like you hanging out with Jesus, and you can't say, okay, I can't walk wild, I can't hardly walk a puddle on the sidewalk. So it's like, so it's not like you're dealing with people around you who are unequal to you. You're generally dealing with people around you who are similar to you. So that means that if you see any one of your friends choosing for peace and choosing for love, you know you're capable of doing the same thing. If there's anybody around you that's happy and is not constantly criticizing and condemning themselves and allowing their life to flow, and you know them especially, you're capable of the exact same thing. You're just choosing to see yourself as weak. And that's what it's saying to us. Just want to know how the mechanics of a fearful mind works. Because if you know how the mechanics of a fearful mind works, then it's easier for you to forgive when they do the things a fearful mind does. You know, if I know you think you're weak, then I know that there may come a time you might attack me. Because how do I know that? Because you're very fearful and insecure. And so there's a part of you that might want to equalize that situation. And the temptation would be to somehow find flaws in me. Look at to see what I'm doing wrong. Okay? Yeah.
Could the attack also be a real need for someone to join you in the victim?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
the fact that I want to
like,
get you to join me in it.
right.
Yeah. And I now here's the ironic part. Even though I'm using the word attack, who you really are cannot be attacked, and who you really are can never be affected by anything you're doing to yourself or what it appears that others are doing to you. Your real self can't. Now that's a very important difference. The you that's not your real self, that you think is your real self, gets affected by everything. It gets depressed, it gets its feelings hurt, it gets insecure, it gets mad. That part is not really who you really are. That's the you made up, that you now think is you, that you are identifying with.
Yeah.
That's why it's not real to anybody until you reveal it or describe it to them. That's how you can tell when something isn't real. How do I know that being a teacher isn't real? Because until I tell you I'm a teacher, you have no idea. So it's a concept. And any time that you're believing that you're a concept, then no one knows what it is until you tell them. That's why you can say, I'm married. Well, no one just knows you're married just to look at you unless they see a wedding ring or something. It's a concept. I'm miserable. You know, it's a concept. It's an idea. It's not what you really are. Okay, I'm gonna stop here. I want to do 5 minutes to go further, okay? Because I know how the course works. And if we don't, it'll be an hour-long discussion group, which I don't like. Okay. Why do I not? Because I really want to hear as much as possible what Spirit is saying to me.
Yeah.
Because I haven't heard these ideas. Like many of you, this is the first time you're hearing this. And so what's powerful about the course is I found that many Course in Miracles students have never heard it. That when you dig a little deeper and say, have you really read this book? Are you really studying this book? 90% of the time, even among those who will tell you, I'm a Course in Miracles student, you'd be amazed. They haven't done the workbook, haven't read the book, but they're constantly asking questions about it that would be answered if they actually studied it. Right? And so I don't mind answering questions. I'm not trying to come down on anybody asking questions. I'm just saying, watch the trick of the mind that will have you expecting the results of something you're not using and studying. And that's what you have to watch out. It'll like tell you the Course in Miracles doesn't work, but then when you be honest with yourself, well, I don't even know what the Course in Miracles is even freaking saying. So how do I know it doesn't work? Well, I went to the class. You know what I'm saying? It's like me watching the documentary of a jet pilot and me expecting to be able to go down to the airport and fly off. You know, it ain't happening unless I am getting engaged. So no idea of truth really becomes real to you until you make it your own. You got to make it your own. You got to get to the point that you can go, oh, love is strong. So if I really feel strong, that's when I know I'm experiencing love. And when I'm experiencing love, I'm not attacking myself, I'm not judging myself, I'm not criticizing myself, I'm not condemning myself, and neither am I doing that toward anybody else. Now I know what love really is like. So if I'm jealous, I'm insecure, I'm afraid, I'm attacking, in that moment, I am not in love. I am not experiencing love at that moment. What I'm experiencing is a deep call, request, prayer for love.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing when I'm going off.
Yeah.
Wow, great. Okay, let's do the next paragraph. It says, that's why the recognition of your own invulnerability is so important to the restoration of your sanity. What's important to the restoration of your sanity? The recognition of your own invulnerability. The recognition that you cannot be hurt, that what you really are cannot be hurt. It's so important to the restoration of your sanity. For if you accept your invulnerability, if you accept that you cannot be hurt, you are recognizing that the attack has no effect. Although you have attacked yourself, you will be demonstrating that nothing really happened. Therefore, by attacking, you have not done anything. But once you realize this, you will no longer see in a sense an attack. And an attack will manifestly not work and can't protect you. Woo! That is so deep. So let me work back on that and let all your resistance come up and just don't throw tomatoes or whatever. You know, let your resistance come up. In other words, what it's saying is if I can realize that no matter what I think about myself or what anybody else thinks about myself, because the Course is always talking about perceptions and thoughts. And so it's saying to me when it says stuff like by attacking you have not done anything, it's talking at a perceptual level. And no matter what I think about you in my mind, I'm really not doing anything. I could hate every one of you in here and you would not pass out on the floor, dead. So what I am telling myself about you, whatever attack that I think I'm doing, it's really not doing anything because I recognize I cannot be hurt by someone else's perceptions alone of me. And if I recognize that I cannot be hurt no matter what I think about myself and no matter what I think about you, then you will stop attacking because none of us will continue to do something that doesn't work. You see what I'm saying? If I try to start my car by putting the key in the trunk, okay, and I recognize that that will not work, will I stop? Hopefully, unless I'm just really out there, you know what I'm saying? So my point in saying this is we will stop attacking each other when we recognize that no one can hurt me. When I know that I'm strong and there's nothing anybody else can do to change that about me, I won't see any need to attack because I won't see any need to equalize in the situations because I don't see myself as lacking in any way.
Right.
So if I don't see myself as lacking, I don't have anything to prove to anybody. And so I'm no longer judging, attacking. It's like more and more as I learn and as I love and as I wake up and I see the power of all my brothers and sisters, the more I support them in being exactly the way they think they need to be. And if there's anything I can do, I ask Spirit, what would it have me say? And then I would say it. But I also realize that they don't need me. They only need their relationship to Source, God. That's what's really needed. And that they're choosing to look at things the way that they're choosing to look at it. And the reason why they're looking at it the way they're looking at it is there's some kind of a payoff in it that they're not ready to give up yet. So if there's a payoff in you being pitiful, and the payoff in you being broke, and the payoff in you being jealous, and the payoff in you being mad, and the payoff in you being sick, then you're going to say, this is a problem that I haven't been able to solve. This is a pattern that I haven't been able to break. If you say either one of those things, then there's a payoff in that pattern that you're not ready to give up yet. That's the only reason why it's still there, because you know there's another way you can look at it to let go of your pattern. So there's a payoff in it. Whoa!
Whoa.
So it says, once you realize this, that you really can't be hurt, you will no longer see in this sense an attack, and it manifestly doesn't work and cannot protect you. Yet the recognition of your own invulnerability, the fact that you cannot be hurt in your true nature, has more than negative value. In other words, if your attacks on yourself and your judgments on yourself and your criticisms on yourself have failed to really weaken you, you're still strong. If everything you thought about yourself really hasn't had any effect on who you really are, then you're just as powerful as you were created right now. As a matter of fact, you are using all of your power to create the experience that you're having right now. If you don't realize how much power it takes to keep you so broke. You know, you got to forcefully make sure your abundance and prosperity in your conscience, in your mind. You got to go out of your way to make sure you make all the wrong financial decisions. You got to go out of your way to make sure that you have lack. And you know, it's like if I don't love myself, I've got to craftily, very subconsciously jam myself up. And then say, oh, how did it happen? Well, you didn't pay that bill for 5 months. It's really not that big of a mystery. Because actually the people that gave you the credit card, they had more faith in your future earning ability than you. That's why they gave you the card. They had faith in your future earning ability.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and then we are resenting them for asking for what we asked for. I don't really remember MasterCard grabbing me when I walked out the door of my apartment and throwing me down and then forcing my hand on that application and sign for the card. So why am I resenting them asking for what I created? So at the very least, stop resenting them like they're your enemy. That was your choice. Oh. You know, because the grievance and the resentment that you have is only increasing the block to your miracles. And I know the Course in Miracles is not talking about money, all right? But the Course in Miracles is talking about the happy dream. And it says in the happy dream, you don't have any experience in your perception of any form of lack. That there's, you know, how do you get rid of a need? You have it met. But once it's met, there's no more need. So don't be freaking out because you said the word need. It might get met if you admit you think you have it. Just saying.
Can you say the happy dream one more time?
Yeah, the happy dream. The Course in Miracles says that the happy dream, which is what it would call our physical experience, when your mind is correct, it takes the form of no lack in any way whatsoever. Period. So there's no perception in your perception, you're not lacking anything. In your perception, there's nothing missing in your life. And at that point, you can safely assume you got the correct perception of your experience or the correct interpretation of your experience. Now, when you wake up to your spiritual identity, you realize that everything is divinely planned, and so everything is exactly as it should be in this moment to bring you the greatest amount of happiness, joy, and enlightenment. And so you really would look out and go, there's nothing lacking in this moment, because in this very moment, everything is set up the best it can be set up for me to bring me to the realization of who I really am as a child of love. So everything that's happening in my life is perfectly orchestrated to bring me to the awareness of my joy and my power. If I looked at it that way, I wouldn't see a lack in my life. The reason why I'm seeing a lack in my life is because I've written a script for how I think it should look, and it's not looking the way my script is saying it should look. So now I say I have a lack. But the lack came from my interpretation. The lack didn't come from the reality of the situation, because the reality of the situation is that everything is in divine order, and everything that's happening to your life in your life is happening for your own best interest, to bring you to some higher level of consciousness, love, awareness, and truth. And it's your curriculum that you're living. So if you didn't fight your curriculum, you could enjoy your curriculum. But if you're comparing your curriculum to somebody else's curriculum, then you won't be happy with yours, which is where your happiness is located. You know, it's that simple, but not yet. we're gonna play around with it a little bit more. So the Course in Miracles then says, I love this, says, the recognition of your own invulnerability has more what? The negative value. If the attacks on myself have not weakened me, then I have no need to equalize. I have no need to bring anybody down to establish my strength. So you will never realize how utterly useless attacking on yourself and attacking someone else is, except by recognizing that your own attack upon yourself has no effects. Now check that out. He said the way that you would get to the point that you would stop hurting yourself or even trying to hurt anyone else in any other way would be for you to realize you never hurt yourself. Who you really are has never been hurt by anything you've done to you. And when you begin to recognize that, then it says you'll stop attacking yourself or anybody else, because you really get, well, why should I do something that's not having any real effect anyway? So then it loops back around again, saying that the key to your having the kind of life that you really want to have, that turns you on, is based on your willingness to begin to understand you are not weak. You are not lacking. There's nothing missing in you. There's nothing to fix. There's just something to remember. There's nothing to fix. There's just some things we need to remember. There's nothing to fix. You're not broke. You just need to remember you're not broke. And I need to be able to tell when I'm getting ready to try to convince myself that I'm broke by making some stupid choice. Another choice for the exact same type of relationship that I've had 100,000 times before. The choice for the exact same attitude toward abundance that I've had before. The exact same attitude. In other words, the stupid thing would be my not being willing to invest energy and attention into my own joy, into my own happiness, and into my own self-love, because it's not until I love myself enough to know you can't hurt me that I'll never try to hurt you. So all that safety we're looking for in the world is only really going to come from the safety I feel within myself because of how much I love myself. And the world is going to reflect that back to me, because the world is a three-dimensional mirror of everything you believe about yourself. You want to know what you really think about yourself? Not what you're telling yourself you think about yourself. If you want to know what you really think about yourself, your environment is a perfect reflection of it. And that thrilled everyone. It was like, oh, hell no! I can't be that. No, I can't be Uncle Terry. No, there's no way. You know, because if you were surrounded by an environment that you saw as completely, totally loving and exciting and fulfilling and nurturing, I would go, wow, God, I can tell by the way the people in my life right now and the things I'm experiencing right now, it's witnessing back to me that I'm really beginning to love myself and appreciate myself more than ever before, because that's the only thing that I am experiencing is appreciation. Yeah. Okay? And then sometimes it looks like I'm not experiencing appreciation, and that rare occasion is just an unforgiven thought that I haven't released yet. See, this is the way it starts out. It starts out looking like you're having a crappy day all day with somebody saying something that's upsetting you all the time, and somebody's always judging you, making you mad, and by the time you get home, you got to go postal. Okay? And so you start to study the truth, and you start to appreciate yourself more, and you start owning what's going on as being you, the one that's creating it, and taking responsibility and not blaming and seeing yourself as strong and saying you can't be affected by your ego or anybody else's ego. So you let go of the need to attack, and you let go of the need to hurt yourself. Then your outer world begins to reflect that back to you by having fewer and fewer people who seem like they're doing something to hurt you or irritate you. And before you know it, you realize there's nobody that you're in conflict with. Okay? And then that's what happened to me. You get to a point and you go, whoa, wait a minute. I'm not in conflict with my children. I'm not in conflict with my siblings. I'm not in conflict with the people in my building. I'm not in conflict with people. I'm not in conflict with anybody I'm in a relationship with. And you look around you and there is nothing, no one condemning you, criticizing you, judging you. There's no issue with your mama. There's no issue with your daddy. There's no issue with anybody. And you still find yourself choosing to feel depressed. As a matter of fact, you really want to kill yourself then. The court says that sometimes nothing is more depressing to a person than to get what they want. When they convince themselves they don't deserve it and it can't happen for them, so that's making them a lie. That's breaking their core belief about themselves. And so once you begin to find yourself still allowing yourself to not feel good even when everything is going well for you and your life is a blessing, but you're still walking around depressed, that's when you come to the realization that it was always you doing it. That it never did have anything to do with the outer situation and what you thought was going on the outer. Why? Because it's been cleared up in your butt still not showing no joy and light to the world. Which lets you know all of your unhappiness is in your own mind. It's that way now, even though you want to project it on a bill, a job, a health situation, a relationship, and then you tell yourself, if this was different, I'd be happy. If this was different, I'd finally be joyful. If this was different, I'd be the happy, prosperous person I want to be. But what's going to happen is you continue your spiritual path. You're going to see the external things drop away, and you'll just see your own naked mind. But what's the good part about that? Because if everything's all right and I'm still messed up, that don't feel too good to me. What's the issue with that? Well, the Course in Miracles says, well, some people want to commit suicide at that point. Well, what's the point? I got everything I think I want and I'm still miserable. So what's the point of living on? He says, but actually that's the time that you could make the most powerful, greatest choice that you could ever make for your happiness. Because that means your brother has not been doing anything to you. It means your sister hasn't been making you unhappy. It means no one in the public is really determining how you feel. So that means now you know that you can turn to your sisters and brothers because they're not the one that's doing it to you. You can turn to your Creator because you know it's not your Creator condemning you and giving you a hard time. So you're actually in a position at that point to ask for real help and to start to see the support you have around you and really enjoying it and appreciating it and allowing it in. This is just a light Course in Miracles class. I tried to make sure it's a pretty light class today. I'm going to sue you for course abuse. You deserve to be loved. You're strong. You should be abundant. I know my way around being the pitifulest thing in the room. I know how to deal with people who abuse me in relationships. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, truth students have their mace and their affirmation and their 45. So I'm sorry if I'm telling you that you're strong and undivided. I'm sorry if I'm telling you that there's nothing that anyone can do to hurt you, and if someone has not physically attacked you and you're a grown person, then if you're choosing to allow yourself to still be affected by what other people are doing, that's your choice. Because you could give everything they're doing another meaning that would keep them from ever affecting the way you feel no matter what they say. Because if they haven't actually attacked you, they haven't done anything to you. And if they call you something, say something you don't like, criticize you in some way, judge you in any kind of way, it's you that's giving it the meaning that hurts you from what they're saying, which means you never have to be hurt by anything anyone is saying to you, because you are a luscious, powerful, beautiful, abundant, gorgeous Spirit of God. Would you acknowledge yourself? Holy Spirit. I'm going to do a quick recap in a minute, but we're going to do the financial expression of appreciation right now. Thank you so much for sharing with me in my full-time ministry with the Course in Miracles. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it's my joy. It's my joy. Those of you online, thank you so much for your love and your support. And if you'd like to make a financial expression of appreciation, you can go to my website, earlpurdy.com.
And anyone who doesn't have cash here can go to your website.
That's right, that's right. Thank you so much. I know. I have a body that eats and stuff like everybody else. I know it's a rumor that I don't, but I'll get there one day. But right now I still eat and do everything else you do. You know, and I know that I'm sustained by the love of God, and you're sustained by the love of God. And so what a conscious being is doing is they're not buying into your story. Someone that loves you, they can have compassion for your story, they can hear your story, they can relate to how you can feel that way about your story, but they no longer see you in terms of your story. And the story seems to come up the strongest and the most powerful when a person is experiencing more love and support than they've ever experienced before, not when they're experiencing the most judgment and criticism. You'll find your sense of unworthiness comes out much more when things start to go your way than it ever did when things were going your way. Because any residue of any lack of love for yourself comes up to be released. And don't confuse that as meaning you are failing or that you are backsliding or things are going wrong. If you're on the path, there's going to be times you feel like crap. And there's going to be times that you feel afraid. And there's going to be times when you feel upset. because you're stirring up all those thoughts, feelings, and emotions and beliefs that have been buried at the bottom of your spiritual pail for all these years, and you put all that truth in you and all that wild spirit in you, and it's going to stir up everything you got going on inside of you, and it's going to seem chaotic and disorienting. But if you keep giving yourself the truth, after a while those old thoughts will pour over the top of the pail, and you'll begin to see with clarity and feeling and love beyond anything you've ever experienced before. The issue is, do you love yourself enough to do the little that's being requested of you to have your whole life transformed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you have so much help. It's everywhere. You are not alone. And I'm available for one-on-one sessions called Clarity Sessions, where I use the Course in Miracles and the Way of Mastery and every metaphysical teaching I've learned in the last 40 years. And also my knowledge of astrology and numerology is a way to get information also. So those online, go to my website. There's in the room, go to my website. And we'll get a chance to do that. It's going to be very powerful, very powerful. You have support. Support is here. But a person can throw that ball to you, but they can't run down the field with you holding it. You know what I'm saying? So what's really good news is we all have our limit. And some people have a greater tolerance for pain than others. But everyone has their own limit. When they go, I have had enough. It's like, when you know what I'm talking about, when you, like for instance, if you're in a relationship and you really know it's time to go. I mean, you ain't no kidding around about it's time to go. You know it's time to go. Besides the hitman that was shooting at you last night, but you know it's time to go. You are not hassling over furniture. You're not hassling over the house. You're not hassling over anything. You do not tolerate the situation 1 second longer under any condition when you've had enough. When you reach your limit with that job, that you want to kill yourself every time you wake up in the morning thinking that you have to go to it. When you really, really have learned everything there is to learn in that situation, no one could force you to go to that job if your life depended on it. When you really have reached your limit, you don't do it anymore. And you do move toward the thing that you love. And you do, even if you don't know what it is, you're going, hey, I need to make sure my connection to source is stronger than any connection I've ever had before. Because I know that I have a function, and my function is my happiness. And if I'm not feeling happy, I'm not doing what I came into this experience to do. I'm not allowing myself to do what I was born to do. I am listening to what the world is telling me that I need to be doing. I'm trying to live someone else's spiritual path, but I'm not paying attention to my own spiritual path, because my happiness and my function are the same thing. So if you're not feeling joy in what you are doing, then don't judge or criticize yourself for that. Just make the decision that you want another way to look at it, and that you want to remove every block inside of you that keeps you from hearing your own inner guidance that's telling you exactly where to go, exactly what to do. Because all of us have that guidance. But you have to develop the ability to hear it. And that's how you do it. And you could be in the thing you want to be. You could be feeling the holy instant. You could be happy right now. You know, so I just want you to know that I'm sorry, you cannot lose. You will end up happy. Greatest attempt to convince yourself that it's going to be otherwise. It's too late. You're going to fail at misery too. So you're a total failure at every level. You know, if you want to look at yourself that way. I saw a hand right quick before I wrap up. Yes, my dog.
So what you're saying is that if I've had enough with, let's say, physical condition, that, and it'd be lovely if I could heal, but it's the mind, right? If I've had enough, then my mind will be, I'll see it differently, or...
And you will have a sincere desire to do whatever it would take to make that situation and whatever you're experiencing change. And you would not need anybody else's approval, anybody else saying it's okay or not okay for you to do it. When you reached it, you will know it. But I also want to say that one of the reasons why you're reaching that level so fast is because you're beginning to wake up spiritually. And when you begin to wake up spiritually, the Course says you can't really appreciate even minor intrusions of discomfort, because you know it doesn't have to be that way. And the world tells you that's normal for it to be that way. And you are learning, well, no, that's not normal. It doesn't have to be that way. I don't have to be unhappy every day. I can feel nurtured and loved in my environment. So the once you begin to believe what you're hearing, that's when you become not more patient, you become more and more impatient with things that are less than what you know you deserve. Growing in consciousness doesn't mean you are better at suffering for long periods of time. Which is very common. Okay, I want to wrap this up. And so take a breath, please, y'all. I'm going to do a quick recap. And don't forget, I put all these classes are available on YouTube. You know, go to my website. I got tons and tons of classes so that you can remember and go back and see it and listen to it. Because just like it took a lot of programming to get you to the point that you think the way you are now, then it's also true that you have to be willing to repeat to yourself the truth right now. Take a breath. Remember, as you see yourself as strong, you won't see any need to attack. So what you want to start doing is tell yourself a Course in Miracles lesson that goes like this. If I defend myself, I am attacked. In my defenselessness, I will be strong. Only the strong do not attack. How do you act this out in your day-to-day reality? If you can catch yourself before you attack in a small situation, if you can take a breath when you're getting ready to go off, it will transform your life. When you're feeling the desire to attack, and you know when you're feeling the desire to attack because you feel that familiar twinge, you feel that feeling on the inside that's telling you to attack, that's telling you to attack. Remember this, you are invulnerable. Who you really are cannot be hurt. Who you really are cannot be hurt. Take a breath. And remind yourself, I am invulnerable. Who I really am cannot be attacked. Who I really am is beyond attack. And I want to get in touch with the me that I really am. The me that I truly know myself to be. That tiger in me. That power in me. You're strong. Only love is strong. And you are love. So you are strong. Only love is strong. And I am strong. Only love is strong. And I am. Let's claim it for ourselves. Only love is strong. And I am strong. Only love is strong. And I am strong. I claim my power now. 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 So remember, I never upset for the reason I think. What? I never upset for the reason I think. Say what? I never upset for the reason I think. I never upset for the reason I think. I never upset for the reason I think. And I am still as long as love created me. What? I am still as love created me. Which is the same as saying I am still as God created me. I am still as God created me, and I place the future in the hands of God. I place the future in the hands of God. I place the future in the hands of love. That's what you're saying. I place the future in the hands of love right now. I want it now. Gotta have it now. I want it now. Got to have it now. I want it now. Got to have it now. I want it now. When do we want it? Now. When? Now. When? Now. When? Now. Woo! Go! I'm juicy and sweet. I'm juicy and sweet. Say what? I'm juicy and sweet. I'm juicy and sweet. Whoa! I'm juicy and sweet and strong and neat. I'm juicy and sweet and strong and neat. I'm juicy and sweet. What? And strong. Are you strong? Strong. Are you strong? Are you strong? Are you strong? Yeah. Are you powerful? Yeah. Are you abundant? Yeah. Are you beautiful? Yeah. Are you spirit? Yeah. Are you free? Yeah. Have you had enough? Yeah. Have you had enough? Yeah. Hey, I reached my limit. Damn it. I have reached my limit. Damn it. Say what? I have reached my limit. Damn it. Tell somebody I have reached my limit. Damn it. Because what? Because I bless the world. Because I bless myself. Say what? I bless the world because I bless myself. Whoa! Give it up, Holy Spirit. The Way of Mastery, Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. If you're not on my contact list, go to my website or come up here and sign up for it, because I send links out to the videos every week so you get a chance to listen and watch them again to remind you. So we have a sign up list for that. And Sheila wants to make a quick announcement before we run out. Let's acknowledge Sheila, Minister of Music Control.